Hello everyone, our tutorial today will be on functions in Python. A function is a block of code that runs when it is called. So let me give you guys an example. Let me create a file. This is my file, fung.py. So in Python, a function is created with a def keyword. This keyword def, D-E-F, def, followed by the function name. Let's name our function function1. Let's name it function1, then followed by a parenthesis and a colon. So inside our function, let's print I am a software engineer. I am a software engineer. So to call your function, just use the function name followed by parentheses. From the above, our function name is function1, then followed by parentheses. Function1 followed by parentheses. Let's run this code. So I'm a software engineer. If you want this to be executed twice, if you want this I'm a software engineer to be printed twice, all you just have to do is to call the function twice. You don't have to run the code. Function saves us the strength of writing codes. All you just have to do, if you want a code to execute a particular code, just call it and it will be executed instead of rewriting it over and over again. Function1, if you want to print this twice, call it, then executes, print it. When you run it, it executes. So let me give you guys another example. Let me clear this. So let me give you guys another example. Let's create a function. Let's name this. We want to create a function that sums two numbers. So let's name our function addition. So this function now wants to sum two numbers. This function is going to have two parameters. So let's have x and y. X and y. Followed by colon. So in our function, we want to print out the sum of x and y. Print x plus y. So let's call our function. Assuming you want to add two numbers, just write this function, call it, then this function has two arguments, x and y. So while calling this function, you must call it with the exact number of arguments it's expected. It shouldn't be more, it shouldn't be less than it. If you call this function, it has two arguments, we're calling it two arguments, 5 and 10. 5 and 10. If you call it with more than two arguments or less than two arguments, it will display an error. So we have to note this. It has to tally. While calling your function, the arguments in the function must tally with the number of arguments the function has. So let's run this code. It summed it. So I we want to sum another two numbers. You just call the function. You don't have to write the code again. You don't need to rewrite the code. I want to sum, let's say I want to sum 10 and 11. 10, 11. So now you just have to call the function. You just have to, when you call it, it executes. You don't have to write the code over and over again. So this is it. So there is this. Let's assume we use the return statement here. Here I used print. Let's try using the return statement here. If you use the return statement here, it's when you execute this code, it won't display the results. It will run perfectly well, but it won't display the result. Let's run this code with the return statement. It's run. It didn't show any error, meaning that the code is okay, but it didn't display the results because we didn't ask it to print. So in order to do this, when you're using the return statement here, let's create a variable and assign it this function name. Let's say our variable name here is add1 equal to this. Then you have to print add1. Then here for the second one, let's name a variable add2 equal to this. We have created a variable and assigned it. Then let's print add2. With this, our code will run very perfectly and you will see the result. You can see it. So if you're using the return statement, you just make sure you do this. Don't just, if you print it, if you just go ahead and just call the function, call it like the way we did when we use the print keyword, it will run without printing the result. So let me give you guys another example. Let me clear this ahead. So let's say let's name our function, let's say name. Let me name something else. Let's name it from 2. So here we have name. It has one argument. Let's here now this function I'm creating now. Let's assume you have like 5 students in the class. We want to print this word. Choma, Mary is a software engineer. Choma is a software engineer. Cynthia is a software engineer. Yes. Instead of writing this code 5 times, you just call it. So let me give you guys an example. So here, let's print. I taught you guys how to format a string. You can check my previous tutorials to see. So then my name is name and yeah. Come here, call the function, call it. I have from 2, then impute the person's name in a single or double quotation. So I want to print, I am Mary, my name is Mary, I'm a software engineer. I also want to print, my name is Ken, I'm a software engineer. Is Ken. Let's run this code. Let me clear this. Let's run this code. You can see my name is Mary, I'm a software engineer. My name is Ken, I'm a software engineer. If you want to do it multiple times with different names, you can easily do it by calling the function instead of writing the code. So this is it. So in my next class, I will teach you guys the difference between keyword arguments and positional arguments in Python. So check out for my next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.